Good morning, students of class 7. Today we will learn history chapter 4, the Turkish invasion and the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Earlier we had already studied about the spread of Islam and birth of Prophet Muhammad. There we had studied Abbasid and Umayyad dynasties, the Turkish rulers, they had spread the Islam. That one will a little continue. The Turks, the cultural vitality and brilliance of the Abbasid Caliphate in the 8th and 9th century CE was followed by a decline in its political power. By the end of the 9th century CE, the once mighty Abbasid Empire disintegrated into a number of independent states ruled by the Turks who had earlier served in the armies of the caliphs. Two important states established by the Turks were Ghazni and Ghor. Means after the decline of Abbasid and Umayyad dynasties rule, the successor of the Prophet Muhammad, the decline came. Then in Turkey there are two independent states established. That one is known as a Ghazni, led by the Mahmud Ghazni, which one today will study, and Ghor Kingdom in Afghanistan, that is established by the Muhammad Ghori, two Turkish rulers. So let's start about Mahmud of Ghazni. Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni was powerful and ambitious ruler. He invaded India 17 times in the course of 25 years from 1001 to 1025 CE. He wanted to build a large and well-equipped army to expand his kingdom and also to protect it from his enemies in Central Asia. To fulfill his arms, he needed money. The fabulous riches of the temples of North India attracted him. Means in 17 years, 17 times he had attacked on India during 25 years from 1001 to 1025. He was not wanted to establish any kingdom in India, but he wanted to make a rich of his kingdom Ghazni. So he required a lot of money because he wanted to protect his kingdom and wanted to make a prosperous and prominent and famous in the cities. So he required, and whenever he had heard about that India's temples had a fabulous riches or wealth, so he had attacked to India 17 times during of the 25 years. At the time, North India was divided and there was no unity. The ambitious Rajputs, deeply absorbed in mutual rivalries, failed to understand the gravity of the situation. Mahmud of Ghazni attacked India and plundered its riches. Plundered means attacked and looted. Invaded to India and looted the property of India's fabulous riches, because the Indian rulers were not united. They were always fighting each other. They never united together. So he had got an opportunity and attacked to India, and easily several times he had plundered to India. Important raids 1001 to 1025 CE. First war against Jaipal. Mahmud first defeated Jaipal, the Hindu ruler of Punjab, whose territory extended from the Punjab to present-day Afghanistan. Jaipal was forced to pay tribute. Unable to bear the humiliation of the defeat, Jaipal burned himself to death. Means Jaipal was a ruler of Punjab. His territory had been extended till Afghanistan at present. Means during that time, this Gore and Ghazni, Kabul, these all areas also the territory and completely at present Pakistan also was the part of the Punjab and ruled by a Hindu ruler Jaipal. He had defeated by the Mahmud of Ghazni, so he had burnt himself and killed himself. Means you can say he had suicide. Second, war against Ananda Pal. Pal, Jaipal's son and successor, formed an alliance with the rulers of some of the important states of western and central India. They made elaborate arrangements to repulse Ghazni and protect their states and culture. The grave threat of a foreign invasion inspired the people to raise to the defense of their land. It is said that even the women sold their jewelries, melted their gold ornaments, and sent their contributions from distant places to help in the war effort. However, Anandapal and his allies were defeated. This opened the way for future inroads into the heart of India. Means after the Jaipal, his son, his successor Anandapal ruled in Punjab, but he had fought and tried to save his that territory, and so that people of the Punjab and under the people of Anandapal, they were collected money. Even they had sold their jewels and jewelries and melted and given a contribution from the far to save and protect the kingdom of Punjab. Later, most of Mahmud's attack were directed at the temple towns of North India. A temple town was not merely a religious center but a treasure house of fabulous riches as well. Means Mahmud Ghazni's main attraction was a temple, Hindu temple, like Somnath temple in Gujarat in Kathiawar district. That was became most a victim, and mostly he had looted to the India's temple because during that time the temples were very rich property were. Hundreds of temples were plundered and destroyed. The attacks on the Somnath temple in Kathiawar district in Gujarat was Mahmud's most ambitious and profitable expedition. The Indians put up a stubborn resistance to save the magnificent temple, which was the richest and the most sacred temple of Hindus. After 3 days of fierce fighting, the entire defense force of 50,000 soldiers lay dead. The victorious Mahmud returned to his capital with immense treasures, including valuable works of art. Means around 3 days the war had took place between the Hindu rulers and Mahmud's army. But fierce fighting took place after 3 days. Since there 50,000 soldiers had been killed. So the Mahmud once again he had defeated to Anandapal and looted the temple and took a immense treasure, huge amount of money to his kingdom Ghazni. Mahmud was a great military leader, but he did not want to establish an Indian empire. His interest lay in territorial expansion in only Central Asia. Punjab was the only Indian province he annexed. Means The Punjab only he had defeated. His will and desire was not to establish a kingdom in India. Only he wanted to make his kingdom, the Central Asia, rich. Sultan Mahmud drained away India's vast treasures and used them to transform Ghazni into a magnificent capital city. Ghazni was adorned with a splendid mosque, libraries, and a museum. The court of Ghazni glittered with sparkling pearls, rubies, and diamonds. Means he had completely ornamented his capital, Ghazni, and he had made a mosque, libraries, and museums. Mahmud was known as the idol breaker and a bandit operating on a large scale in the context of Indian history. However, he was a patron of art and learning and enjoyed the company of learned scholars and poets. The Persian poet Firdausi, author of the great epic Shahnama, and the great Persian historian and mathematician Al-Biruni were among the eminent scholars patronized by Mahmud. Means Mahmud was a way idol breaker. He was the destroyed the temples and broke the idols of the Hindu religious people. And he was a very learned person and patron of art and learning. So during that time, a Persian poet Firdausi, a epic writer of Sahnama, and Al-Baruni, the mathematician and the historian, were patronized by the Mahmud. Mahmud's raids exposed the weaknesses of the northern states and paved the way for the conquest of India. The empire of Ghazni disintegrated rapidly after Mahmud's death. For about 150 years after that, North India was free from foreign attacks. When when Muhammad Ghori invaded India at the end of the 12th century CE, there were five major Rajput kingdoms in North India: the Rathors of Kannauj, the Chauhans of Delhi and Ajmer, the Solankis of Gujarat, the Parmaras of Malwa, and the Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Means after the death of Mahmud Ghazni, after 150 years, that Mahmud Ghazni's kingdom completely scattered and became that five independent kingdoms. During that time in India, there were the five Rajput the kingdom. They were very powerful, as I mentioned here in the Rathors of Kannauj, Chauhans of Delhi and Ajmer, and Sulankis of Gujarat, and Parmaras of Malwa, and Chandelas of Bundelkhand. So students, kindly go through your lesson and try to understand. Thank you.